On Tuesday, Oklahoma voters will decide the fate of several runoff races. Republicans will have 5 statewide seats to choose their nominee, while the Democrats have a single statewide runoff race. It all leads to finalizing the November general election ballot.
Well, it's going to set the tone.
That's how political analyst Scott Mitchell sees the impact of the runoff races, which will be decided on Tuesday. There are 6 total statewide offices on the runoff ballot, along with several other down-ballot races for legislative seats and other offices. Some of Tuesday's results could predict outcomes in the general election.
And it may even tell you who's going to win in November because, we're bright red. So for most of these races, it's going to be probably the winner in November is going to be announced in the runoffs.
One of the top races is for the Republican nomination to State Superintendent of Public Instruction. The candidates in the runoff are Oklahoma Secretary of Education Ryan Walters and Shawnee Public Schools Superintendent Dr. April Grace.
I am going to ensure that parents are in the driver's seat of their kids' education by providing more school choice so parents have the options of where to send their kids to school, but also bringing transparency so that parents can see what's going on in their schools.
We've got to get really serious about solving the teacher shortage. I think we have a lot of work to do with the teacher shortage, and so it's going to take a multi-layered approach. That's a big thing we're going to have to jump on top of really, really quick.
Walters says he wants to keep the focus on a student's classroom needs instead of political agendas.
And I'm going to ensure that there's no indoctrination in our schools, that the far left doesn't allow our schools, doesn't push our schools to go woke. On my watch, our schools will never go woke. I want to make sure that our kids have an emphasis of academics without indoctrination.
Grace believes Oklahoma needs to continue the positive momentum of increased investments into public education by the legislature.
Got to be specific and targeted in how we want those investment dollars, not just dump a bunch of money in and then leave it up to whatever. I think we do need to be targeted, specific, strategic, and people need to understand what we're looking for in an outcome return on that investment.
Turning to the lone statewide Democrat runoff, that race will decide who will face U.S. Senator James Lankford in his re-election bid to the Senate. The contest is between cybersecurity specialist Madison Horn and attorney Jason Bollinger. The other state Senate race features Republicans and is for the unfinished term of U.S. Senator Jim Inhofe. Voters will choose between Congressman Markwayne Mullin and former Oklahoma House Speaker T.W. Shannon to move to the general election. The winner will face former Congresswoman Kendra Horn, who is not related to her fellow Democrat in the other Senate race. Republican voters will choose their nominee for Corporation Commissioner on Tuesday as well. State Senator Kim David and former State Representative Todd Thompson are facing off in that contest. Both say the office is one of the most powerful political positions that voters really don't know much about.
The Corporation Commission regulates close to 85% of our economy. It regulates utilities, pipelines, the oil and gas industry, railroads, transportation, cotton gins.
That's why I think it's such an important role, because you're advocating for the economic health of the state, but you're also advocating for the individual on a small basis.
One of the other 2 Republican runoff races is for state treasurer. That's between Representative Todd Russ and former Senator Clark Jolly. The Republican nomination contest for the Commissioner of Labor is between the incumbent Leslie Osborne and Representative Sean Roberts. As far as what things will look like after the November general election ballot is set next week?
Probably a month of quiet. And then it really depends on what kind of campaign that Democrats, for the most part, can muster. And that's going to be mostly 2 people. That's Joy Hoffmeister in the governor's race and Kendra Horn in the United States Senate race. Those 2 women are going to be really the ones that are going to set the tone for Democrats.